In fact, SBT 2-0'd today, didn't they?
Yes, they did.
So, okay, it's going to be Sky Temple. So SBT will currently be on 10 points. If Soa win this, they will move up to 8. So they will be nipping at the heels of
Very
SBT.
nice.
Not too far behind at all.
Very nice. And if we take a look at the statistics here, Soa has yet to play a game of Sky Temple in 2018, but nevertheless, it was their map choice. So they must have a plan prepared. And if you think back to previous Soa games, they are actually surprisingly strong on those global heroes, like Falstad in particular.
Very much so. Now then, let's see if any of them are picked up, any of those global heroes. So far, the majority of the globals have seen play, except for Brightwing. She has been quite ignored as of recently.
Yeah, it's quite interesting, isn't it? How Brightwing has moved from that top 1 or top 3 support tier into basically non-existent tier.
Now then, BTG, first ban. Genji once again made it through the bans last time and was completely ignored by both teams. This might end up being a theme in HGC China, except when CE and SPT are playing, because they have taken on the worldwide Church of Genji.
Yeah, and it's so interesting, speaking of BTG and gaining experience, you would have actually expected them to maybe come out swinging this season here, because they already delivered so much last time, and they actually gained additional experience, international experience at that.
Here's Genji. Hanzo and Genji were both let through, which is why BTG picked it up. Hanzo's great against Genji.
Yeah, very true.
Wait, no, that's the wrong way around. Genji's great against Hanzo.
I mean, it all depends, but probably Genji has the upper hand, at least in Heroes of the Storm. But Hanzo can be okay against the Genji as well if you lock him down. Or if you have team members who can lock him down, and then the strong basic attacks by Hanzo and the armor reduction can actually help killing him. But yeah, you're right. Definitely is Genji is definitely more accounted towards Hanzo than vice versa.
Now then, a Grey main and an Uther. Hanzo just being let through. I mean, BTG could pick both. They could just double Shimada this.
Double Shimada Mada. Let's go. Arthas here and Dehaka, Hanzo being neglected, and that's quite curious here as well, because I would say Sky Temple is one of the stronger battlegrounds even for Hanzo. I mean, he doesn't really have a weak battleground to begin with, but thanks to the boss in the middle and the value of mercenary camps, the scouting value near temples, I think there's many aspects that favor a Hanzo pick eventually. And look at that, another Cassia ban, switching it over to Rhaegar. Okay, they want to limit down the support choices for BTG.
Very true indeed. So, what are we going to set for BTG? They don't have their support yet, but they do have their tanks. With ETC already banned out, potentially something like a Muradin, they stick with the Sonya. Sonya Uther still a solid enough combo to warrant a ban.
The thing is, it wouldn't surprise me to see yet another Jaina or a similar burst type of assassin for Soa, because if you take a look at how they have prioritized supports, picking Uther first and banning Rhaegar, that's 2 heroes basically gone for BTG that have very good burst protection, right? So if you have a Grey main plus Jaina, and the enemy team picks a support like Malf because they can't pick a good burst protector, it could really make Soa benefit heavily from those early support prioritization.
Very true. Now then, see Uncle G down in our bottom left by the waist, helping his team strategize, working out what their pick will be. If this was 2016 and 2017, then I'd say maybe Azaria, but so
maybe Azaria.
Moving on from that a bit.
Maybe a Karazim as well.
True.
Maybe going for that double Karazim support style, which, technically speaking, is a little bit different from any other double support. Oh, hold that thought. We see Falstad, a Soa special, and of course Turiel, who looks mighty good up to this point.
Yep, Tyrael coming back in here. CE have been the ones getting the most success with this hero. Now it is Soa's chance to prove they are able to as well.
Okay, so I gotta say, I can't help but feel that Soa is already on a very strong draft here. Now, mind you, Genji is a powerhouse. Arthas is by no means a weak character, but I think that Soa just read so well what BTG was trying to do there. They're trying to get, you know, maybe a double reset comp. Guess what? Uther is so strong against that. So it wouldn't surprise me if BTG maybe shifted away from a potential Li Ming, which is, I think, what they wanted to go for originally.
I wouldn't mind the Li Ming. The double resets, we've seen it used so many times by so many different teams. Not always the greatest effect, actually. A double reset comp is actually one of the comps that MVP Black lost against Tempest with in the first week of Korea.
Very true.
They still go with it though. Yep. Double reset and a Lucio.
Now Lucio is probably, considering the odds, it's the only choice that really made a lot of sense. Not just because of burst protection against the Greymane and the Falstad, but also in terms of utility and how you enhance your front line, which is very slow up to this point. Dehaka, if he doesn't have a bush nearby, is greatly going to benefit from the speed boost. So is Arthas, who's innately slow. So I gotta say, with those last two picks, BTG salvaged the situation very nicely, and their draft is quite scary.
Quite scary indeed. And now Soa. They are against double resets with currently a single tank. That single tank is relatively sustainy and can add sustain to the rest of the allies. But do so want a little bit more protection. Maybe someone who can absorb a bit more of those Li Ming shots. Perhaps a Nubarak, we were talking about it earlier. Maybe a return to that Zarya to offer more team protection and prevent those resets.
Yeah, definitely true. Ideally, they're going to pick a second tank that can... Oh my goodness. We're in the house of Stitches. I like it. I like it.
Because as do I. They have Uther as the stun follow-up. It's not the best, but like so here's how this could go. They could hook Genji and Li Ming and hopefully lock them down quick enough to get the kill. They could hook Lucio and kill him before he could dash away. Or they could hook Arthas and all die. That is a thing that could happen if they're not careful.
And of course, you do have a great point here with Stitch's playmaking capabilities, using a hook and a follow-up and then executing the target. But he also brings a lot of utility against Genji, which you may not be expecting at first glance. If Stitches goes for the Gorge and he devours the Genji in Dragon Blade or mid-Dragon Blade, you're going to shut down a lot of that value he could possibly get. So Stitches, a very, very, how should I say, like, very...
He has very high counter potential.
Yeah, I think that's a good way of saying it. Like, you can make plays happen, but you can also use his capabilities to shut down what the enemy team has.
Indeed. It's an interesting tank, very unique, which is why we don't see him too often. However, if he does do Gorge, I would like to point out that Tyrael's movement speed boost he can give to his allies could be a very amusing combination.
Oh, that's for sure, man. You get the level 7, the Swift Retribution in, and Stitch is gonna sprint out of range here for the enemy team.
Get back over Li Ming. As BTG are left in the dust, and they have the gut. Oh, they have the Gorge Gust. I completely missed that. Come on, Brain. Either way, ladies and gentlemen, spawning on the left-hand side of the Sky Temple. Currently 1-0 up in the series. It is start over again. With Faye on Tyrael, Uncle G on Uther, TY on Greymane, Klong on the Stitches, and Molly bringing out the Falstad.
And their opponents, the former 3rd seed for China, representing them at BlizzCon and the GCWC. It is Beyond the Game with Druid on that Li Ming. 619 plays Arthas, DJZ on the Dehaka, Zong Si on the Lucio, and last but not least, we have Dancing his way through on the Genji.
As we see 619, immediate route on to Stitches, and he has the rooting talent. The stacking begins! As we look at some of the other... Oh, I got a bit of a lag.
No problem. And I'm going to provide you with information on my latency here real quick. My latency is 9.
I'm not even out of the lag yet. I'm refreshing.
Okay, no problem. I'm sitting at 9. Oh, Stitches Hook coming through. I'm going to cover Tetcher while he's trying to get his feed live online again. In the meantime, we see a nice Tyrael pickup here. Joined forces with Uncle G and TY. Dehaka is no more. And that's quite surprising because Dehaka is normally one of the safer solo laners for sure because of his movement speed and the ability to burrow. So nice early first blood for Soa. Hey, we Gucci, man. Let's go.
So, other talents we can talk about here. We have that Force Armor for Li Ming. Now, this could be very helpful against both General Cocktails from Greymane, Hammerangs, Boomerangs, and especially, like you said perfectly, the Slams from Stitches. They are often and scary in the late game, so being able to spam out those missiles could be very key for keeping Li Ming in the land of the living.
And it looks like Soa actually copies the style here that was kind of used by CE earlier, providing a lot of emphasis here on the night camp and maybe even making a push happen in the top lane. Because of that spell armor, of course, you are much more resilient to enemy wave clear and AoE abilities. But BTG, they're definitely on their tippy toes as well. They're rotating the exact opposite way, focusing on Sea Giants first and then doing the Knights.
Yeah, and it looks like so we're not copying completely. They do, in fact, they don't, push into that top lane. They instead go for the siege giant captures as well, and they're just chaining captures together, whereas Faye is left to push in a little bit on his own. However, now Dancing and Druid have the top lane, with Arthas on his way from base as well. They could try a counter push here.
Definitely true. One tower fell in the top lane against BTG, and now it looks like the bottom towers are joining the sequence here. And look at the XP difference already, being resembled by those early tower kills for Soa. It's almost skyrocketing ahead here, one entire level already.
Molly bouncing back and forth. Klong, a little bit of harassment, but his hit point total at this early stage and the late stage of the game is so high. Beautiful hook stun combo executed to perfection.
Feels good, man. When the enemy team wasted so many resources onto killing you, they don't get it, and in return, you're gonna turn things around yourself. Now, BTG's Arthas player 619 is in trouble. Arthas, we mentioned this, he's highly immobile in the early game especially, and he's not gonna get away anytime soon, and Soa is turning on the heat.
They really are. Falstad walking directly into ZJZ. Very suffering for it as Dancing looks for the kill, tries to deflect onto Molly, but not able to do so.
Alright, Genji needs to try a little bit harder if he wants to get those early kills going. Molly, though, perfectly patient here, waiting for the barrel roll until the very last moment, keeping himself safe and sound. Uncle G now being surrounded by multiple enemies, Klong clearing the wave in the middle, and maybe we can see Zoa getting a little bit more brave now with that level 7 talent available for them.
We see the root onto Uther. Uncle G needs to pull back as he eats all the damage. Lovely boop there. Lovely sound wave by Zog C, able to guarantee that kill.
And despite the fact that BTG was behind a talent, they knew exactly how to utilize their strengths. So very, very well done here on their part. Securing a kill, getting that level 7, and also getting very, very good value in the middle tower.
And I get another lag. What is happening there? I'm going to turn down my quality a bit.
Okay, no worries. No worries, I got you. Now, level 10 is going to be the next high priority here. We see the Swift Retribution coming in by Tyrael, by the way. That's the talent we talked about.
Nice.
So much utility, so much movement speed, and attack speed as well. And it really seems like teams have found their favorite talents on almost most... Okay, never mind. That's a crazy invade. Okay.
Very aggressive invade indeed. I'm still a little bit far behind, so keep going for the moment.
No problem. I think the main reason why Soa was so confident in that invade and stealing the mercenaries is because Genji was showing himself in the top lane. And when Genji is nowhere to be found in the vicinity, and you're as a 5-man unit, you can definitely make those plays happen. Beautiful dodge by TY, by the way. Jumping next to the wall, escaping the Howling Blast by Arthas. Mechanically, I think Soa, it is safe to say, they have improved and stepped it up so much.
Still going, having issues, sorry.
Okay, no worries. Genji's going in, but he's very low in the meantime. Use the safe. Protect. With protected, by the way. Faye makes it over the wall, just barely dodging Arthas' Howling Blast. But here comes CJZ on that dagger. Can he find a target to lick on? He's dropping very low himself. Gets hooked, but finds the stitches after all. Falstad, in the meantime, though, is in the top lane. They're going to keep trying to stall and buy as much time as possible for Molly to get value elsewhere. And that's being resembled and reflected in the overall XP very, very well. Despite losing a couple of members, they're still slightly ahead. So that is.
I am up to 13 seconds at this point. I don't know what is happening, and I've even turned
I've had the same issue, so I'm just gonna try to get higher myself.
No, wait. Okay. I'm up to 8.
Ooh, that works out.
And 9. Boom. Got it. So
Nailed
just turn the back up to full. Got it. Assuming I don't lag anymore. So we are back, but yes, very interesting team fight overall. I saw it in slideshow form, refreshing. But we do see the Mighty Gust Sanctification. Stitches teasing us with the potential for Gorge.
It has to be the Gorge, though. The synergy with the Mighty Gust would be too impactful, especially with the Dragon Blade as well. I think there's just so many advantages of going for the Gorge. I couldn't imagine a Putrid Bout. But of course, it's nice to toy around with your enemies and have those mind games, right?
Yeah, the GG combo, the Gorge Gust combo potential. And I've got another one. I'm going to change browser.
Okay, no worries. In the meantime, it is the Gorge. It goes on Arthas, not on the Genji. Let's see if they can save the Lich King. He brings him very close towards the fort. The ultis get popped left and right. Here goes the army, and of course the sound barrier was good too. It is currently still a 4 versus 5 because Falstad is continuing to do his nasty business here in the top lane with the mercenaries in joint.
Nasty. Excellent pronunciation there. Absolutely love it.
I tried to have at least a little bit of Tetcher in the cast while you're trying to fix your connectivity issues.
Well, I appreciate it. I assume it's... I actually have no idea why it is, because I'm not having any traffic issues at the moment, apparently.
So, what are you sitting on right now?
I'm refreshing one more time on a different browser to see if I can solve it. I apparently can't go to full quality, because that just makes it lag consistently.
Right.
Now I have perma-black screen. That's helpful.
All right, we're going to continue without
19? What?
19?
I don't know how I got that one.
Okay, 13 is almost here for Team Soa, so Tyrael doesn't have access to the Holy Ground just yet. So the easy camp still is not really that easy after all, but still Soa is maintaining such a strong presence onto the platform. The Gust is good to save them for now. Now they just need to make it out alive. Keep in mind, 1 kill is all the BTG team could need for the double resets, and Uther looks like he's in a lot of trouble. The Tyrael movement speed is not enough. There goes 1 reset. Falstad, Molly, maybe the next one. Strong Tyrael shields though. Movement speed is good too, but Race Car Dehaka is just too fast and too furious, and they take down yet another member. But look at that. The mercenary value. Is it going to get... Wait, are they going to get the fort, Genji? Okay. Dancing is just... He just prefers dancing his way home rather than saving, or at least trying to save the fort. But, you know, sometimes a man's got to do what a man's got to do. All right, Tetra, what's your status, my friend?
Well, I've gone to my task manager to try and fix the problem, and apparently the Microsoft service host, aka the thing that's supposed to make my internet be controlled, is eating 72 megabytes of data.
All right.
So that's cool. I will try and work around that, but for now, I apologize so much. I'm gonna have to ask you to continue.
No problem. Just let me know when you're ready again. You can just jump in and interrupt me, like a mighty gust. All right. In the meantime, Molly in the top lane here, clearing off the mercenaries and minions. And Dehaka, we finally have that duel between the two globals, basically. And I think Falstad in general had been doing a much better job at maintaining the map pressure compared to Dehaka, who was mostly occupied and busy fighting alongside his teammates. HGC using that barrel relatively early. Looks like he's not going to get ganked anytime soon, though. And keep in mind that the bottom temple had been firing the lasers during all that time. But ironically, although Soa had been looking so good at game number 1 in these early game team fights, structurally, it is almost dead even between the two teams. So now, Dehaka, how long can he hold it? I mean, it is such a cool, intense moment right now to see how both teams are going to fight over the bottom temple, because at any given moment, both Falstad or Dehaka could appear out of nowhere, and it's like Klong tries to go for the blind hook here. Holy Ground is available. They can't escape for now. Huge damage coming in from the Divine Shield of Graven onto Druid, who was not in range for the sound barrier. Oh, hell no. That was a little bit too reckless there. No engages and no resets left here for Team BTG. As a result, Arthas pops the cooldown on Icebound Fortitude and the army, and it looks like they can at least minimize the damage they could take in that team fight. But still, without Li Ming, I'm not sure if they can even contest the boss, and Soa realizes exactly that, and with the Holy Ground at their disposal, they could really play this very, very safely.
Arthas wants to try, though. He's moving in. I'm back at 360p as we see Arthas moving in to try and hold the point, but Stitches, he's got body on the point, and there's nothing Arthas can do. Now there's something Arthas can do, and it suffered a painful death thanks to the hook of Stitches. Nicely done there. Stitches making up for hooking that Legion of Northrend minion as he tried to chase over the Bridge of Death in the bot lane earlier.
clung on that Stitches, proving to be an absolute menace. That Arthas was already safe. I'm pretty sure he thought of himself as being safe there, but Stitches wanted to play a little bit longer. Now, I gotta say, this could be lights out already for BTG if they don't defend very nicely. We have an almost full HP Golem boss. We still have Siege Giants behind. And guess what? Tyrael's Justice for All talent protects the Siege Giants and the minions alike so much more efficiently. This could be a Tetra.
It could be it with the Siege Giants and the boss available. Here they come. Volstad arrives from above. Looking for it here. Greymane not getting pulled by Dahaka. The isolation's good on Stitches though. Trying to turn it around.
Good.
And the sound barrier. Gust to deny the sound barrier value. Genji trying to chase forward. Please let me Dragon Blade team. But he can't get close. Dragon Blade expires. But the root is huge here. Moving into the backline. But Uther survives. That's a huge deal. Stitches going down though.
Wow.
The Divine Shield keeps alive Greymane. Volstad finally taken out by the Disintegrate. Genji wants to find more, but Dahaka kills off Uther with a sneaky burrow.
Yeah, damage had been dealt onto the core though, and the keep had fallen there as well. So BTG beyond the game with a really nice hold. That's exactly what they needed. But, and here comes the big but, Soa is still maintaining a solid lead. Crushing down the defenses, managing to minimize their own losses there as well because Greymane made it out alive, and already they're on the task to get more map pressure built on eventually. PG is doing the same thing though. They're trying to take everything away from Soa so they won't have to deal with that much map pressure themselves.
As we see BTG trying to get the maximum amount of map pressure with this camp. Not able to grab their own because Li Ming, not the best solo camp clearer. And Dahaka is already in position for Temple. Hook does not land, but an interesting effort there by Stitches.
Alright, Mercenaries are knocking on the door in the top lane, in the bottom lane as well. And it is going to be very interesting to see how Soa wants to play this now. 2 temples are going to spawn respectively right now. All they need to do is maintain control over one of them, and eventually another keep is going to fall. So, do they prefer to teamfight or do they prefer to play it safely?
Well, they're beginning to move in. Remember, Hook, Gorge, Gust, still a potential combo here, the GG combo. As we do see them move into position. Tyrael trying to zone out. Beautifully done. Gust without the Gorge here as they're trying to finish off Arthas, but they can't do it.
Wow.
The root's so huge here. Greymane in the backline with the Divine Shield finishes off Li Ming with 0 troubles. Genji tries to Dragon Blade. He ends up into the Sank and gets destroyed. Down goes Lucio as well. Dahaka realizes he's far too late. He tries to retreat, and he will probably do so. But he's going to retreat to what will very soon be a dead base.
Tetcher, you could write a book about this teamfight and how many details there were hidden in there. That was so well played by Team Soa. The last second sanctification keeping Tyrael and his buddies alive for as long as possible. The Li Ming once again getting demolished by the Divine Shield of Greymane. It is almost like a deja vu. Lucy just continues to be too far away to hit the sound barrier, and with their combined efforts, Soa is demolishing that court, taking home a sweet, sweet 2-0.
Nicely done by Soa, guaranteeing themselves that full 3 points and keeping themselves in a comfortable 3rd place, only 2 points behind last season's champions. Super perfect team.
And beyond the game, they can't be happy with that result. Soa was supposed to be a target they could take down, especially with all the high and good results they were able to achieve last phase. However, Soa is here to stay, it seems. They played a team composition that was so well-rounded, and most importantly, Tetcher, one that was so hard to execute because they had so many cooldowns, so many tricky abilities. Most